Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're coming from. My name is Emily Buse. I am the Assistant Director of International Services for Students and Scholars, and we're more affectionately known as ISSS or ISSS, since we have a pretty long name. And I want to welcome everyone, both the folks who are here on the call, as well as anyone listening in after. We're really excited to have you join us this fall at Rensselaer, and we're looking forward to getting to know you. And so with that, this is us. So we're located in Troy, we're on campus, and our mailing address you see here. Now, to get in touch with us, the best way, especially right now, since we're not in the office, as you see by my lovely background, is going to be to send us an email. And so our email address is issoffice@rpi.edu. Make sure you don't forget the office if you're emailing us, because it will not come through. You can always call us during business hours. So business hours for us are 8:30 a.m. Eastern to 5:00 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, except for the days when the whole institute's closed in observance of a holiday. And on our website, you can find a lot of information. And I do want to go away from the presentation for one moment to share something on our website you might not know about. So you can always get to our website. I just search for RPI ISSS. And if you scroll down, you can schedule a virtual advising appointment to meet with any one of our advisors on any series of topics. So if you click here, this opens up. You can see who advises primarily on what based on your question. And then you can see the available time slots based on your time zone and schedule an appointment. So really easy way for you to connect with us if you've got individual questions. And this matters because some questions are applicable to everyone and we can answer them, but sometimes there's really specific situational questions for you that are about your case that we would prefer to talk to you so we can address them. So what do we actually do? We provide services and programming for all of the international students and scholars who hold an F visa or a J visa throughout your time at Rensselaer. So we do immigration advising. That's what those appointments are primarily used for. We hold orientation. You'll be getting emails about that information shortly. We liaise with campus partners. So we help kind of be the go-between sometimes when there's immigration questions that your department might have. We provide you support and we do programming throughout the year. Now, I'd like to talk a little bit about the life cycle of an F1 student. So this graphic comes from our government agency that's called SEVP, the Student and Exchange Visitor Program, as you see here in number 1. And so I am not a government employee. I work for Rensselaer. However, we work in a government database that's called SEVIS, and that's where we manage your F1 records. And so if you look at number 2, many of you, if not all of you, have an I-20. And this is what is created by our admissions office for you to seek to come to the United States. So you pay your SEVIS I-901 fee over here in number 3 after you've gotten the I-20, and then you apply for your student visa. You have your interview with the consulate or embassy, and I'm going to come back to that shortly. And then they give you a sticker that's put into your passport with an F1 visa. And then once you've got that visa, that and your I-20 are going to be what you use to come to the United States. And so no more than 30 days before the program's start date that is listed on your I-20, you can enter the US. You'll bring your paper I-20, you'll bring the passport that must be valid at least 6 months into the future, and your F1 visa, the sticker in your passport, and you'll show that to the Customs and Border Protection Agent, CBP, at the port of entry when you come into the US. and you'll say, I'm coming here to study at RPI. And then you will be admitted to the United States in F1 status. And that's what allows you to study. And so 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5, that's all going on right now, right? Well, actually 1 you've already done because you've been accepted. And so after you get here, you will be maintaining your status during your program of study. So you'll be a full-time student every fall and spring semester. And there's other requirements for you to maintain your status, which we inform you of during the online orientation module that you'll be enrolled in from our office. And we'll also briefly touch here for a moment on work, because I know this is a common question that a lot of people ask. So as soon as you've entered the United States in F1 status, you're eligible for on-campus employment at RPI only. And that's built in based on the fact that you're here in F1 status. And then after you have completed 1 academic year at RPI, so right now that would mean the fall 2021 semester and the spring 2022 semester. That then begins your eligibility for off-campus employment. And so that means summer 2022 will become the first time you can do anything off campus, an internship, a job. And if you see down here, the 3rd bullet, curricular practical training, or CPT, that's the work authorization that you'd get from our office in order to apply, or in order to work starting summer 2022 off campus. And then also, after you graduate, you would normally be eligible for 12 months of post-completion OPT. And so that comes over here into number 7. So you've graduated and you have some options. You can transfer to another US school, you can change your education level, undergraduate to graduate, from master's to PhD, or you can apply for OPT, or you could leave the US. And we'll give you reminders as you're in your final semester based on your program end date on the I-20. So you don't need to know 7 and 8 really well right now. Right now, your focus is on 3, 4, 5, and starting to think about 6. And so I promised we'd talk a little bit about the visa, because there's probably a range of folks who will end up listening to this presentation. So some people may have already applied for your visa. Some people may have a scheduled appointment and you're looking forward to applying for your visa. And some of you may be waiting for your I-20 so that you can apply for the visa. There's a whole range. And so we wanted to share the top 10 tips to apply for your visa from our professional organization called NAFSA. It's the Association of International Educators. And so these first 5 tips are very important for you to prepare in advance to think about showing ties to your home country. Are you comfortable speaking and practicing your conversation skills? You always want to speak for yourself, not for your family or for a friend. You should know your program at Rensselaer and how does it fit into your career plans overall. You want to keep it brief. You want simple, it should be short, and you want to continue to be positive. And the next tips are, make sure you bring your supporting documentation to your interview. So you always will need your paper I-20, and then the financial documents that you showed RPI to apply for the I-20, you should have those with you as well. And then anything else, you need your acceptance letter. If you were offered funding, you need a copy of your funding letter. And what else, what other ties, maybe documentation of ties to your home country do you have? These are things to think about to prepare for your interview. But keep in mind, every country may have different requirements. So you will want to check online when you've scheduled your appointment to see, does it say you need to bring something specific? You will want to make sure you have everything that they have listed there. And they talk about employment, right? Your purpose in coming to the US is to study, not to work. So you might be thinking, oh, I'd like to finish my program and go on and work in that field to use the knowledge I've gained from my program. You may, but that shouldn't be the focus of why you're seeking to come here. You're seeking to come here so that you can learn and potentially apply your skills. Because who knows what you might choose to do a year from now? Plans could change. Keep in mind, if you've got dependents who will be remaining at home, that is also a tie to your home country. And there is something that you should be aware of that's called administrative processing. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes, when you go for your interview, you meet with the consular official and they say, apologies, they say, I can't make a decision. I'm not sure. I have to put you under administrative processing. And that's done because they can't make a decision on the spot. And so administrative processing, sometimes you'll be asked for additional documentation, sometimes you won't. Sometimes it can take a short period of time, sometimes it can take longer. And you will be provided that information always at the end of your interview. You will be told at the end of your interview if you are approved, if you've been put under administrative processing, or if you've been denied. So these you will at least be told, so this will not be a surprise to you. And if you are put under administrative processing, feel free to just send us an email and let us know so we're aware of it and we can help guide you on what should you know, what timing might you be able to expect if we're hearing from other students who are having similar issues, and what backup plans might need to be made. So we will help support you through this. We also have a bunch of resources for you. So I recommend for anyone, if you're watching, obviously you can go back. Anyone on now, you're welcome to screenshot this page. Our office makes an arrival guide. It's 20 pages or so, and we go through a lot of information. I promise it's not all text and it's not a super heavy read, but we go through a lot of the things that you need to know to be prepared to come here. And we try to put it all together in one place for you so you have a single resource. The arrival guide is available also on our website under the new student section. And then if you're coming here, you might be looking for housing for a place to live off campus. We have a department that's called Student Living and Learning, and their abbreviation is SLL. And there's an off-campus commons, which is the second bullet point. And they provide some support for off-campus housing. So that's a good resource for you. There's a link also, 5 ways to prepare for your visa interview. There's a lot of guidance that you can probably find out there with just a simple search. But these are ones that we do recommend because we've found that our students have found them to be helpful. And then of course, there's also 10 tips for a US visa interview. I do recommend you take a look at this video. Again, it's something that our students have found to be useful. And with that, I welcome any questions that you have.